What's up, everybody? How are you? I'm Bill Forth, and this is Real Talk Chronicles. Tonight, I'll be joined, I guess, by Rich is here, and I don't know if any of the other fellas are free to join in. But of course, you know how we do. We talk about things. We have real talk. Um, there's so much going on in the world today, and uh, we're going to try to talk about, what we can talk about today while we're here. Um, Also, let me give a shout out to all the sponsors: Soft Illusions Art Gallery, Row House, of course, Melba's Chocolat. We have another one coming on soon, another sponsor I'll tell you about. And who else? Daily Arts and Survival Magazine. And brothers are doing good things. Shout out to Nathan Ingram and his son Jacob. They're doing their thing. And anybody else, thank you for all your support. I always tell everybody, you're always welcome to join, chime in anytime you can or you want to. I appreciate it. Hey, Stefania, how are you? I hope you had a wonderful day. It's a beautiful day out there, isn't it? A lot of stuff to get into, especially when we talk about what's happening in the world. Of course, the hot topic is the president. Hey, Brenda, how are you? Also, too, I want to touch on the mayoral race in New York that's about to take place. What's your thoughts on that? Let me start off first and foremost by saying that I don't know if you guys noticed the Trump administration. I posted it today. They had taken down Jackie Robinson from the veterans thing, and I was blown out. I was flabbergasted. The fact that somebody like that you would take away. Jackie Robinson is American history. He is history. No matter what you feel, Jackie is history, and I couldn't believe that they would stoop that low to take him down. I thought it was appalling. I think it was a travesty, and I was boiling, to say the least. What I found sad is that all these patriots and people that love their country and support people that were in the war and things of that magnitude, I didn't hear them complaining at all. I had one friend, he was like, yeah, that's messed up. But I don't see them posting that. I see them posting about a lot of things about the Democrats and this and that. But when it came to good old America and who served this country, you didn't hear anything. Can we say hypocrites? Selective argumenting for what they want to argue about or what they want to say. I was really thrown away by that. I'd love to know your thoughts on that. Since starting of this podcast right now, it has been put back that Jackie Robinson is back in there. He is mentioned, but they are trying to wipe away any Latin and African American or person of color that served this country, and they tried to throw it under the DEI title. Not everything is DEI. Let's be clear about that. I want to talk about Trump had a conversation with Putin today, and then I think he had a conversation with Zelensky. I think Putin is going to take he's going to take a pause right now. Israel is still doing their thing for whatever reason. There's so much going on. Your thoughts and comments on anything we're talking about today. She says, Stefani says, I think Cuomo got it signed, sealed, and delivered. Yeah, maybe he does. What does that leave for Eric? Um, will he run, since he won't? Because I see like there's a lot of people running for the Democratic seat. If he doesn't make it, will he switch over to Republican? Who knows? Also says, honestly, I can't watch the news daily anymore. It started to affect my mental health. I totally agree with that. It can. It can consume you where it is toxic. You know, it can start you. It can start you to dislike people for reasons. We know why. Especially, I find that dividing the country, there are a lot of people that honestly feel that Trump is doing well. The bottom line is he's definitely doing what he said he was going to do. Got to give the man the credit on that. I don't know how you guys feel about Musk being in charge of things. I always say this: how does a person with a felony record, you want to call him a crook, whatever you want to call him, find where the crooks are? Is there honor among thieves? Really? So where's the integrity about this? Brenda says it's a disgrace and a disrespect to our ancestors. Absolutely. I don't think we've ever, maybe in our time, our age group, depending on how old you are, some of you have seen something like this. This is almost like Hitler-esque, right? And there are a lot of people that's really loving this. Stefania also says, she says, Israel is committing genocide against Palestine. I'm convinced. Yeah. You know, it's really coming down to the haves and the have-nots. It's coming down to all the disrespect. I posted stuff about rallies where you can see a lot of Republicans are getting upset. Arlington Cemetery has removed all Black, brown, and female heroes mentioned from website. Appalling. Absolutely. And I'm glad you chimed in because I know you're a vet, Ed. And, you know, how do they erase all the history that we have contributed to wars, you know, fighting for this country? I remember my uncle was one of the first Black Marines, and he got a Congressional Medal of Honor from Barack Obama. So what do you erase all their history? So, you know, the Tuskegee Airmen, what do we do with them? All these individuals that have served their country and still couldn't come home and drink out of the same fountain or faucet as a white person. You know, I think it's disgusting. I'm gonna bring Rich in. Hold on, Stefania has something to say. She says, in regards to your question about Mayor Adams, last I saw that he won't receive funding match due to his charges, and he's not receiving many donations. I think it's a wrap for him. Yeah, he's definitely not. I'm gonna bring Rich in. Rich, what's up, brother? How you feeling today, man?
Hey, man, you know me. I'm putting up with it.
Absolutely. Hey, Rich, I don't know if you heard, I started off my conversation, a few things I want to talk about tonight. I want to talk about Arlington Cemetery, commentary.
Yeah, you're talking about how they taking all the Black on the website, all of the people of color. They've even went as far as to go and get the code breakers, the Native Americans that broke those codes back in World War II for this country. You know,
yeah,
they had a section where they honored them. They took that down too. You know, they removed Emmett Till. I mean, not Emmett Till. Medgar Evers.
Yeah,
and other former military that served this country honorably.
Yeah,
And they took it down under the premise of DEI or whatever the hell they call it. You know, you can give it whatever name you want to give it, but it's just erasing history as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and I don't know if you heard earlier in my opening, I had mentioned that they had taken down Jackie Robinson. As we speak, I was just informed that it's back up. But what's your thoughts on the fact that they even took him down?
Well, I mean, that they took any of us down.
No, period. Yeah, all of us. Yeah, all of us.
Period.
Absolutely.
Jackie Robinson, in my opinion, was like the one that they they put out there to shine as our only leader in breaking the color barrier. And I got my own opinion about that color barrier breaking nonsense, because before Jackie Robinson did that, we owned our own teams, we owned the whole league, and we had greater players that just were integrated into a bogus half-ass league that were claiming records that they didn't even hold. We legitimized them, and that was just a way to break down economically, our struggle, to own stuff. They always talk about, we need to own stuff. Historically, we had owned stuff. We own towns, we own banks, we own businesses, and prospered even during the Great Depression, because white folks wouldn't take our money in their banks. Thank you very much. And when the stock market crashed, we still had money to do things. So I mean, what they're doing now with this Trump business, Trump is just really showing his ass as far as how big of a fool he is. But to me, what's worse than that is that his followers are still following him and believing in what this guy is telling them. It's like he's saying, don't believe your lying ears and your lying eyes, Don't worry about it. I mean, he came in here talking about day one, everything was going to be better, And I'm watching my so-called brothers and some sisters that back this dude and still backing him, even though he's doing what he's doing. I mean, how do you justify that? I mean, this guy is erasing history, your history, and you co-signing that. I don't get that. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, if this guy's if this guy's ever really brought to justice, they need to bring all those people that's co-signing his shit with him. This guy is blatantly right out ignoring federal court judges' decisions to stop him and his cronies. This guy that's supposed to be the czar of ICE or whatever the fuck he is. This guy is blatantly ignoring what the judge is saying. He said, he ain't doing that. He ain't doing that.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. I was about to bring that up too. Now you got this judge that speaking up. Then I think, what is it? The Supreme Court judge, I think that's in charge. I think his name is Blake. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, or whatever his name is. He came out and then spoke out against and said,
Roberts.
Roberts. Yeah, somebody said Roberts was the one that said bring the planes back, right?
No. Roberts is the Supreme Court's judge.
Oh yeah,
the guy is not Supreme. He's just a federal.
Roberts said,
Roberts is the top judge in the Supreme Court.
Yeah, he said
he told him that you going against what this country is built on. If a judge says that, that's what it is.
Right. He's
telling you that you should impeach the judge. Number one, you can't impeach a judge.
Right.
All right. This guy is really showing his ignorance of how things actually work. I mean, this whole thing about the tariff. And I was arguing with a Trump supporter today about, the tariff we need the tariff. I said, let me ask you something, brother. Because he owns a restaurant. I said, have your prices going up because of this tariff? He said, yeah, but the tariff is going to work. I said, how is it going to work? I said, because the tariff is only going to affect you, and then you're going to put it on your customers.
Absolutely.
Because you're going to raise the price of what you're selling, because the price of what you're buying is more, so what you're selling is going to become more. I said, if he really wanted to do a tariff, he would say, we're going to put an embargo and not let none of your stuff in this country. But he knows that we can't do that because we need all of that shit.
Yes. Yes.
The way this country is set up now, like we used to be the head of the garment industry. All the clothing were produced here in the United States, right? And now everything we get is exported from China.
Yeah.
We owe China so much money, it don't even make no sense. And you talking about you going to put a tariff on China? They like pay me our money first.
Yeah. You know, sometimes I feel like it's like, you know, how you got 10 things and you push all 10 things to the front. Every day you pick a different topic out of those 10 things, and you got people going on everything all over the place trying to catch up to actually what you're trying to say and do. And it's like smoke and mirrors. You know, it's like magic. You could trying to confuse people. I really, you know, I don't understand, like you said earlier, how people are so comfortable with what he's doing, and he's erasing our history. Now, supposedly, the people that Venezuelan people that he said were gang related, you got their family coming out talking about, I don't know what you're talking about. They weren't in gangs. I don't know their records, if they do have them or don't have them. But the bottom line is that goes with what he's trying to say. And then, like you said, the borders are real tough talking dude, man. He must have been beat up when he was a kid, you know. He talk real heavy. He really does, man. You know.
Hey, but you know what? This guy here is another one. He doesn't. All he knows is Trump put him down, and he's gonna kiss Trump's booty. And that's all you got to do to be down with Trump. You know, everybody that's down with him, all you got to do is yes him. You know, just agree with him. That's it. You know, he's calling for an impeachment on a judge. Dog, you are a convicted 35 count felon, convicted, not accused, convicted. Now already, I mean, he said this coming in before they even elected him, how he was going to clean house, he was going to get all the people that tried to get him. Did you hear how he's trying to say that Joe Biden signed those pardons with the wrong pen so it don't count? Did you hear that?
No.
Oh, he's trying to take back Joe Biden's pardons on his son and everybody.
Oh, yes.
Because he said that he didn't sign it with the correct pen.
Yeah, he did he did a virtual signing, and he doesn't know if that's legal.
No, this is coming from a dude that signs with a magic marker. Dude signs all his shit with a magic marker. You might as well use crayons.
Yeah. Zelensky backs. Go ahead.
Yo, I mean, they were talking about how China now has found a new route as opposed to going through the Panama Canal. They're going through Mexico. Right? So they're not going to be able to control trade anymore through the canal.
Wow.
And the route that they're using is quicker. It goes straight through however they're doing it through Mexico. They're going straight through, and they're saying that the goods are going to arrive quicker, faster, and they ain't got to deal with the Panama Canal. This is China. All the money that we owe China, we just paying them. We're not even paying them what we owe them. We paying them the VIG, or like loan sharks. You know, loan sharks don't want you to pay the debt. They want you to pay the VIG. And that's all the United States is doing, is paying the VIG on what we owe China.
Yeah. Terrence said he's questioning Biden's mental state. Mental state is questionable, and that underlining signing those pardons, that Biden was unaware because of his frail mental state. Yeah, I mean, you know what's so funny, Terrence? I know that's what he's saying, but the crazy thing about that is when you're the president, you know, you probably got doctors coming to check on you every day, especially at his age. I personally didn't feel Biden had lost anything but his verbals. Like I don't think his voice caught up to his mind. Like at his age, I didn't find that he wasn't still sharp. I just found out that the fact of it is, you know, you're dealing with a man that suffered from a speech impediment that got over that, and yeah, okay, he's definitely, you can see the age catching up to him in his mobility, but I don't think it had anything to do with his brain. Now, some people, you know, made fun of that. Okay, Trump is not that much younger than him, and he's still moving around and looking healthy and vibrant. But the thing is, what he's doing, you know, you like I said earlier, I don't know if you heard, how does a crook find the crooks? You know, everybody, like I said last show, you're talking about where's the money. You act like you like they're looking for the aha. I told you it's over here. You know, I don't get it. I'm not saying, like, I don't know what, I mean.
No, these people haven't found shit.
Yeah.
You know, they fabricating numbers that's already been disputed. You know, they firing people that voted for them. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They violated all these people that voted for them. And I'm like, you know, old Chinese saying, you order shit, you eat shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, I don't feel bad for you. You picked this horse to run in this race.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. What do you think? Okay, I think the last time we spoke, did he fire the African American general? I think it was the highest ranking. Yeah. Have we? What? Yeah. I mean, he said he was too liberal. I think, or you had the speaker today.
Yo, this dude is on a straight vendetta.
Yeah.
And everybody that he's putting in his cabinet are people that ain't gonna snitch on him this time.
Yeah.
You know, all those other people that work for him. I mean, his whole cabinet, down to his vice president, bailed on him. So now what he wants to do is put everybody in place, and they gotta kiss the ring and say, listen, whatever I do, you gotta be down with it. And that's exactly what they're doing. You know, all of these guys, Marco Rubio. I mean, the footage is there. You can go and look back on what they said about this guy. Everything that they said about him is true, but then they turned around and they supporting him.
Right.
I mean, they said he's a liar. They said he's a thief. They said he's a fraud. All of this stuff they said about this dude, but yet and still they supporting him because he won the ticket without their help, right? So he didn't owe them nothing. You know, the Republican base, and this is not the Republican Party that's in office. This is MAGA, right?
Mm-hmm.
And these Republicans that want to hold on to their seats are falling in line. You know, when they had that vote and they wanted the top Republican Johnson, they didn't want him no more because he kissed Trump's ring.
He let him stay.
He made them vote for him.
Yep. Yeah.
And everything that they got that's going up for vote, anybody that don't fall in line with it, they call Trump. Trump calls them, and they change their mind.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Where in your mindset, with your thoughts? Let me just read Terrence's comment first before everybody does Real Talk Chronicles. That's Richard Williams. I'm Bill Foster, and this is Real Talk. He says, Terrence says, it's possible, excuse me. Remember that at the end, Reagan was afflicted with mental impairment, but nobody questioned his end-of-term decisions. You're right, T. You know, but now they want to question, dude. Where do you think the Democrats went wrong uh, in the thing. Now, let me just break down some facts for people out there. He scared people in regards to the transgender sports athletes or reading in the schools and stuff like that, which I agree. I don't want my, if I had a child, I don't feel like a person has to come in there and be a transgender and read a book. But with that being said, I posted this. Most of everything that I posted, I retain or recall. You can go and it's fact checked into the most to the abilities of the fact checkers. They said there's 510. I can't even get it out. Over 510,000 athletes in sports, in collegiate sports. And they said, how many transgenders? They said 10. So the bottom line is he ran off of transgenders being in sports, playing against girls, men playing against girls and stuff like that. But we're only talking about 10, right? But that was the fluff. That was the biggest thing. He talked about migrants and immigration and stuff like that. We don't hear about the people supposedly that are the killers. Today, that thing with the plane with the Venezuelans, but who's fact checking that? Who has the proof that they were part of a gang? That's what he said. I'm sure there are people out there talking about, yeah, see, he's doing what he said. The speaker, she said that the judge is a Democrat and his wife contributes money to the Democratic Party and stuff like that. So she was fact checked today, and Ronald Reagan put him in office and Obama bumped him up. So it's so funny how things get twisted and convoluted. You know what I'm trying to say? It is sad that we are in this state. And it's so, I don't know about you, Rich, but I personally feel like we're actually fighting for our legacy. What's your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts is this, man. I mean, the truth is, ever since slavery, rich white folks have been trying to justify why the other white folks are poor by blaming it on people of color.
Right.
Just imagine this. If you were a white man, poor white man back during slavery that didn't have enough money to own property or own slaves, and you had to go out and get a job, right? Where you gonna work at?
Right.
Because everybody that had wealth had slaves, and slaves worked for what? Free. So the only job you could get is making sure the slaves didn't run away.
Yeah.
Right? Today, we have 85% of the people that are on public assistance are Caucasian, white people. But every time they talk about it, who do they show? Blacks and Hispanics. To give the subliminal message that it's us that's sucking up welfare, and that's the reason why white people are poor. There are more poor white people in this country than all of the people of color. They're living in poverty. And the rich white people got to find somebody for them to blame it on other than them. They're the ones that don't want to give you fair wages. They're the ones that don't want to give you medical benefits and health care. They're the ones that don't want to give you affordable housing. They're the ones that increase insurance rates. And these are all of the people that are, all they care about is the bottom line, that's what's on the stock market. Right? And they sell this capitalism image or illusion to poor white people and poor black people that they're going to help you get rich like them. Everybody that's running behind this dude Trump, the bottom line is they're running behind him because they think he's going to put money in their pocket.
Right, right.
I know you talked about the transgender and all that. Some of those things people are concerned about, and they don't want. And there's certain things when it comes to that I don't want.
Absolutely, I agree.
I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
No.
I'm not signing up with this dude.
Yeah.
Sure, it's everything. I'm not going to get everything I want. I'm not going to get everything I like, right? But there are certain things that this guy is trying to do, and people not paying attention. This guy's telling you what he's going to do, and he's doing everything, making all the moves to make what he said happen.
Yeah.
He's telling you that you're not going to have to worry about voting again. He told us that. He's changing laws. He's controlling judges. He put all of them in place and in positions where he can control it. That's why he goes into these government offices and gets everybody out of there and then puts his people back in there.
Yeah, yeah.
So when he wants to break the law, like him breaking the law, sending people on that plane and the judge gave him an order not to and he did it anyway, anybody else would get thrown in jail. If they're not going to throw him in jail, they should have threw that fucking czar in jail.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Somebody was supposed to answer for that shit.
Yeah.
And they paying $30,000 to $40,000 per person to fly them back to these countries. Who's paying for that? This so-called tariff, it's a tax. Like I told my guy, he's like, no, he got a tariff that's going to get better. Watch. I said, let me ask you something. If he raises the prices on China's goods to come into the United States so we can buy them and sell them to our people, right? I got to buy it and spend extra money because my president is charging him extra money, so he's going to charge me extra money, so I'm going to charge you extra money.
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes no sense. He was like, oh, no, that's not how it works. I said, let me ask you something. When you went to the market, right, and the prices went up, when you get that shit, bring it back to your store, are you going to sell it for the same price you sold it for before when it was
Not
cheaper?
at all.
Or are you going to sell it for more because you had to pay more?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And that's how that shit works. If he really wanted to do a tariff, what he should do is say, okay, no goods from China can come to the United States. Because that's what fucking Canada's doing. They taking our shit off the shelf.
Yes, they are. Yes, they
They're
are.
not charging their people more money. They're taking it off the shelf. And they said, if you want liquor, you got to buy Canadian liquor.
Yeah.
You can't buy U.S. liquor because we ain't selling that shit no more. And they're about to turn the fucking lights out. Because the United States relies on Canada for the East Coast lights, electrical bill.
Yeah, yeah. Real talk.
And it's not all of the states, but New York City is one of them. And if they cut the lights out in New York, guess what else goes out? The stock market.
Yes.
Which affects the whole country and world.
Well, Mr. Mann said inflation he's going to stop inflation. Inflation is going to change from day one. It hasn't. It's gotten worse. He was on Fox News, I think, and they asked him about a recession, and he was like, "I don't think so, but it might be good." Who says a recession is good for the country? Also,
they got to pay attention to the stocks that he's purchasing.
Right.
Because insider trading is about knowing what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. And he and Elon Musk are controlling that narrative.
Yes.
Right? So certain stock they know to sell, certain stock they know to buy.
Yep.
Right? So they're not worried about it because they're controlling all that shit. Nobody's watching this dude's purse no more. All the Republican Party, all those dudes is getting paid too. I mean, people should start watching who and what they're investing in, what are they getting rid of. Find out what they're doing. Follow their money, right? And then you'll really see what's going on.
Yeah.
Because right now, people are in a panic because stocks are down, but only the super rich know when it's going to rise and when it's going to fall. So all
Yep.
these people, the stock is dropping, they want to bail out and get rid of it. You got some rich white folks saying, I'll buy it, I'll buy it, I'll buy it, I'll buy it, cheap, cheap, cheap. Then they stop because they know it's going to go up. And next thing you know, they filthy rich because they just bought everybody else shit cheap.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let me read a comment. Hold on. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my co-host, Richard Williams. I'm just replying to my buddy. I wanted to see if he wanted to come on and chop it up with us. He's a Republican, and him and I were conversing about the whole DEI Jackie Robinson thing, and he said he wanted to come on, but I don't know if he's able to. Do you want to come on? Let's see.
Well, if he coming, he got to show his face. He can't come as a ghost.
Nah, Joe will show his face to you.
He ain't doing none of that. All right.
No, we've been there, done that. Terrence said he opposed an embargo against China. China will cash in the billions of bonds debit that have been hold over the U.S. Send us into default within will be a catastrophe. Exactly. Yeah. Yo. What's so funny? I'm wondering, for those that have voted for him, well, it seems like when you look at the town halls that are going on around town, and these in Republican states, they kind of screaming at their senators and stuff like that, because it's like, yo, people losing jobs. People have to understand, like, how many, I don't know, Eddie or Terrence, can you look it up and let me know, or Mark? I think 15,000 veterans were laid off. Veterans. Trump says he loves the veterans. He loves America. He loves the military people.
Yeah, and they voted for him.
Yep. What he's doing with the people that are still suffering from Medicaid and Medicaid or Medicare from 9/11. They had a rally. These people still need medical conditions. Dude, I posted it. Like I said, the dude came up. He said, yo, all these guys here are dying from something. They need help. I wonder, for those that have voted for him, are they really having an awakening on, like, as we say in the hood, you're doing too much. You're really doing too much.
Yo, you remember what he said about John McCain?
Yeah.
He didn't respect John McCain because he got captured. Because he got captured. You know how many veterans were captured during war and were tortured and endured all kinds of atrocities and came home and got medals of honor or whatever, and they should be getting benefits and their families should be getting benefits, and he wants to take that away because he has no respect for veterans. Yeah. This is a draft dodger. This is a motherfucker wouldn't fight his way out of a paper bag. He thinks you're stupid for fighting for your country.
Absolutely.
But this is a guy that will then turn around and tell you how he loves veterans. And I'm going to get you rich. The United States is going to have so much money. This is what he said. We're going to be filthy rich. He ain't talking about the United States. He's talking about him.
Yeah.
And all of the people that rock with him. Yeah. And you got to know, because knowing Trump, right? Knowing his personality. When you saw Elon Musk's son telling him that shit he told him, you ain't the president. And he was sitting there looking side-eyed at the little kid. For him to sit there and allow them to do that to him, you got to know Elon giving this motherfucker a whole lot of money.
Yes.
Elon got to be really hitting him off for him to eat that one, because he don't take that easy. If you say something negative about him, he coming for your whole family. He'll talk about your wife, your kids.
All that. And
he got this kid in the White House, crawling around on the floor while he's talking to people and he's telling him he ain't the president.
You right about that.
Elon coming in there dressed like a bum, and then he gonna tell Zelensky some shit about how he's dressed. And this motherfucker's fresh off of fighting the war.
Yeah, you're right.
And you try to humiliate him in the White House because of how he's dressed.
Yeah. I saw Candace Owens was on Stephen A. Smith show, and I don't understand why they're so worried about him coming in with his garb. If because he's still feeling like he's dressing, showing that he's still part of the revolution aspect. They want him to dress up in a suit. Would the suit change the narrative? You know what I'm trying to say? That
yeah, they want him to dress up like Benjamin Netanyahu. That motherfucker come in with a suit and drop bombs on Palestine.
Yeah,
Kill children. Claim that Hamas is inside the school. So kill everybody in there. I mean, that's like here in America, you have a shooter go inside of a school and they say, "Oh, fuck that, drop the bomb on the whole school to get him."
Yeah. You know, everybody, I don't know what's your thoughts. My man Joe, I think he's trying to come in for the last few minutes of the show.
You got to check with Trump first. He might not even come in because Trump gonna say, "No, they don't like me."
Yeah. You know what's so funny? You know, when we listen to different perspectives, and I'm gonna go down this road. When Trump said back in the day, he said, "Yo, for the blacks, what do you have to lose if you vote for me?" He didn't say any of that this time, and he still got a lot of votes. And now he's erasing out history. I really want to know what they say. Are they going to say, "Oh, well, it doesn't make a difference with all Americans," or so I got an extra $200 in my bank account, or my check? Like, what's the narrative? If you that's almost like, I don't know anybody has seen this. There's a guy, white guy and a black guy. They play on social media. They go up to people in grocery stores, and the guy says, like if somebody is shopping, and he'll say, "Hand it to me, boy." And then he deals with the reactions. And the person, I've seen, there's so many different reactions. I hope he would never say that. I hope he never comes to New York and plays that with you and me. But
and dude pulled the gun out on him.
So the guy was like, "Hand it to me, boy." And then the other black guy says, "Master said," he says, "Shut up, Jimmy. I got this." He said, "Boy," I said, "hand it to me." So I got my man, everybody. I got my longtime bro in the building, man. My man Joe.
I finally made it.
Your family made it. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Good. Chilling.
First and foremost, let me get the little preliminaries out the way. How's the babies?
Nice. They're doing well. Good.
Wifey, everybody good?
Everybody's good. They're running around here somewhere.
Okay, good. So let me just tell everybody, Joe's a former NYPD brother like myself. We've been friends for 100 years. We've traveled, we've hung out, we've done it all. And I'll let Joe state his political views and state Joe's. We talk almost every day, whether we.
Right.
But the one thing we respectfully agree or disagree with each other, right, Joe?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yes. So I say all that to say, Joe, you can talk about your political history. I know you're independent. You voted for Obama. So run down that thing for everybody so they can get an idea of who you are, please.
Well, yeah, like you just said, I voted for. I'm an independent since 18 years old. I voted Democrat. I voted Republican. I'd never vote Democrat ever again.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You want to explain why? Go ahead.
Just the policies. That's it. It's all policy with me.
Okay.
For instance,
policies. That's it.
Joe, rich
I don't. Me personally, I don't care if the rich get richer, as long as my pocket's fat.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I don't care.
Okay. All right.
As long as the politician is giving me attention. I don't care.
So when
You
you
know what
say
I'm saying?
attention, elaborate more on what attention you need. I know you said about long as your
Well, the
policy.
policies. I mean, I'm, I'm all for pretty much, this whole thing. Well, it's not the president, with the governor of New York,
Mm-hmm.
with the bail reform and all of this
Mm-hmm.
nonsense, illegal immigrants or migrants, whatever you want to call them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That whole sanctuary city policies and everything else. I'm not with that.
Okay, Joe, let me ask you a question
I'm not
before I
with
bring
that.
Rich in and let Rich ask you some questions. And you
Sure.
can say whatever you want to say, brother. You know that.
Yeah.
Due to the people that have been.
Oh, and one more point.
Sure, sure, sure.
I'm not obsessed with anybody. Like,
Understood.
I
Understood.
remember that other guy that was on there, that was obsessive and
Yeah.
too confrontational or whatever. I don't know
Right,
what the
right.
hell that was about.
That clown. Yeah, he's a clown.
Yeah,
And
that was crazy. Yeah,
yeah, you'll never see him again.
I was like, all right, somebody else is on there, and I'm watching. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
Where did
what
they
the hell
get this guy?
happened, right? Exactly. It
Yeah, I
went
don't
left.
know.
So let me ask you a question. So I think statistically, and you and I do a lot of fact checking each other. The people that he's deported, right? I think it's like 2% are criminals. So you and I discussed about the man. He took his wife. He's grabbing people up with expired visas and stuff like that. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, what I heard from the guy Holran, I don't even know his name or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The border czar,
Yes, yes.
Holran or whatever his name is. I heard him. I was trying to find it for you today. I think they brought it up to him about that case that you showed me
Yes.
with the wife or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that anybody that has an expired visa, they're going to give them the opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to take care of it within a certain amount of time. They're not just going to take them and put them on a plane.
Gotcha.
And, it's not the same thing as coming over the border and having no ID or anything else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you think about what happened with the judge and the plane supposedly, and we say supposedly because we haven't seen their records, and that's the only reason why I'm saying supposedly,
Right.
The Venezuelan, i.e. gang members, that the judge told them to bring it back, and he gave them a order, and they still went it anyway. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, the way I heard it, it depends on where you're getting your source of information from.
You and I have always talked about that.
The plane was in the air already. It was gone and left.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like telling them, all right, turn that plane around.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. He's telling the president of the United States to turn his plane around.
Right.
And bring these prisoners over, whatever, the criminals over.
Well, let's say alleged, because we haven't seen the data or their record, their rap sheet. So that's the only reason why I'm saying alleged. You and I come from a law enforcement background, so I say we're not judge and jury. We arrest, but you know what? We arrest with the premise that we have enough evidence to make an arrest, and up to the DAs to shoot. So that's why I said that. Yes.
Can I say something?
Hold on, Rich. I just want him to finish, and then you can come in, Rich. Go ahead.
No, I'm good. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Rich. Go ahead. You can ask me a question.
On that note about the alleged criminals that were flown out of the country, the judge initially told them that they couldn't do anything as far as moving them until there was a ruling, right? They flew them out anyway. Mm-hmm. And then when the ruling came in, they had already left. But the judge had already told them that they couldn't move these guys until there was a ruling. Now we can go back and forth with fake news and that's not true and this and that. But at the end of the day, we know now that the judge told them that they had to bring them back. President or no president, when a judge makes a ruling, you have to abide by what the judge says, right? Now, it's costing this government.
That's if he has jurisdiction within the area. This guy thinks he's got jurisdiction throughout the United States.
Who's what guy?
The
The
judge. You're talking
judge.
about, the judge.
He's a federal judge. Federal. That means the
Right.
country.
That's right.
That's the
That's right.
country.
Now I remember. That's right.
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
country. So
Obama. I believe Obama put him in.
it doesn't
No,
matter who
wait,
put him
hold
there.
on. Let me interject. I just I put the post up. You can watch it later. You know how we get each other's posts. The AG was fact checked today. Reagan put him. George Bush put him in,
Right.
and Obama bumped him up.
Right.
So
Right. That's correct.
yes.
But it
Yes.
doesn't matter who put him where, and that's his job, right?
Right.
His job is he's a judge, and
Right.
he rules on these types of things, and his ruling is law, right? So he made a ruling, and the czar overruled the judge, right, and sent these people to another country, back to Venezuela, if that's even where they're from, right, at the cost of $30,000 per. Now, Venezuela is not paying for that. That's coming out of taxpayers' money.
I'd rather
Right?
pay for that than pay for them for the half of their lives or whatever else that we're paying. Like New York City was paying what was it, $8 billion or whatever it was
But we're talking
for.
about people that were supposedly criminals, right? Because they said they were criminals,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
They weren't sitting around in a hotel collecting public assistance. They were criminals that
Well,
they
we don't
arrested.
know that. They were criminals running around the United States. They
No, we
weren't
don't know that.
incarcerated here.
That's what they said. They said they were criminals. In order to be a criminal, you had to be arrested and charged with a crime, right or wrong.
That's true. That is
That's
Right or wrong.
true.
Right or
But
wrong.
right,
Hold
but
on, bro. Let me finish.
okay.
Walk with me for a minute, because you're law enforcement.
Right.
If you're going to classify someone as a criminal, they would have had to
What am
have
I
been
here?
arrested and charged. Right? Right?
Right, right.
So
Let me see.
these so-called criminals are now,
Working.
instead of being incarcerated in this country, because incarceration in this country is a money-making thing. There are whole towns that live off of people that are incarcerated,
Right.
right? That whole incarceration machine is money-making, right? So it wouldn't have cost the United States nothing to lock their asses up. They would have actually made some money off of them.
Right.
But instead, these criminals, so-called criminals, they decided they want to send them back home and free them, literally, and pay to do it. Now, if they committed a crime, they should have been charged, convicted, and done time like anybody else, and then deported after they made enough money in the penal system to pay for it. So, I mean, economically speaking, that sounds like the better deal to do than pay $30,000 a piece and put them on a army plane and take them back to whatever country they say they belong in. Right? So now, you said something early on about your pockets getting fat. You don't care about nothing but your pockets getting fat, right? Now, the United States right now, well, Trump has put a tariff, what he calls a tariff,
Right.
on countries like China, who we owe so much money to, we can't even pay them. Right? You're putting a tariff on Canada, who hasn't done shit to us.
Oh, well, they did.
Who we
Oh,
also,
they do.
hold on,
I hope
Hold on,
you.
Rich. Let me hear what he said they did. Go ahead.
They have tariffs on us already. I don't know if you knew that. There's been tariffs for years for the United States.
let me ask you something. Do you know what a tariff is?
Yes,
What is a tariff?
it's a tax on goods, pretty much. That
Exactly. A
right,
tax on goods, right?
right,
Now, the tariff that you're talking about, right?
right,
The way Trump is doing it, they're going to charge Canada, China a tax to sell us goods, right?
Right.
Now, I got a business, a restaurant. My prices are this because of what I pay. I get my same goods from the same people that now they got a tariff. So they're not going to eat that tariff. They're going to charge me more for the tariff that the president imposed on them.
Right.
So as a consequence, I have to pay more for the goods I'm getting from this country. So when I get it, I have to charge who more? The people
Right.
in this country, right? So
Right.
now that money that you claim that the country, the country you put this tax on is going to feel the pain from it, they not. They just giving it back to you, right?
Well,
So I'm
that's
now
why
imposing
that
that money on my people, right? Now this is what a real tariff is. The kind that they did in Cuba, where they don't allow you to bring nothing from Cuba here. So Cuba can't make no money in the United States selling us nothing.
right.
Canada
Yeah.
has taken our goods off their shelves. That's the tariff they got going on. They taking liquor and whatever we giving them off the shelf. So they said in essence,
Ca-
you can't make no money in my country. That's a tariff.
Right.
They're not saying to their people,
Canada,
hold on, bro,
Canada,
hold on,
Rich,
bro,
all right,
hold
Rich.
on, bro.
Go ahead.
They are not saying they're not going to have liquor in Canada. They're going to sell Canadian liquor in Canada.
right.
Right? Now, most of the goods that we get, we solely rely on other countries to give us. And we're going to continue to get that because we're not built in this country anymore to produce nothing. We don't produce shit. We
Let,
get everything from China and other countries. And if Canada decides they want to cut the lights off in New York City because we use their electricity.
They would never do that. And they would never do any of that. That's why
Okay, well,
Trump
Rich,
is
Rich,
doing
Rich,
this.
I want Joe to reply to some of
let's do it.
your comments. I want him to reply
That
to some of
that's why Trump is doing this. The
But why do you think they
GDP,
wouldn't do it?
the GDP alone, if we dumped 100% tariff on Canada, it would destroy that entire country.
How?
We buy more because we we buy more than they do. They rely on the United States.
Did you hear what you just said?
Right.
We buy more than they do.
Right.
And they're going to sell it to us at a higher price. They're going to sell it to us based on the tax that Trump put on them. So how was that? How was that working? Who's that working for?
I'm telling you, it would never work.
No, you just said it.
And that's and the and excuse me. And the reason why that wouldn't work is because they every time he does something, they come back with something else. Oh yeah, okay. Just like Mexico would. They don't want a trade war with the United States.
They don't need shit we got. We need what they got.
No,
I'm,
no,
What is
I
it?
want to
Let me
hold on,
ask you
fellas.
no,
this.
Hold on.
not at all.
What is it that we got that they need?
I don't have the list,
Give me
but
one thing. You don't need a list. Give me one thing. What is it that we got that they need? Freedom?
I'm no, no.
What?
I don't know. I don't want to say because
In
that
the words of
yeah,
my man,
I
in
wouldn't know.
the words of my man from Batman the Riddler, riddle me that, Batman.
Yeah.
Everybody,
But
this is Real Talk. Hold on. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm my host, Bill Forster. I got my man Joe in the building. I got my brother Richard Williams in the building. Joe and Rich,
and
want you to,
I'll admit I'm definitely not like I just came on here whatever. I was actually going to prepare myself with some notes and stuff like that.
well,
I don't.
Joe, you always welcome back. We
My
know that.
mind is not 100% half the time.
Okay, don't worry, Joe. But Joe, the
Hey,
fact that
listen, man, we know that about you, MAGA guys, man.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
still love you. We still love you. We still gonna give you the platform to express
Yes.
yourself. But
That's
we like
right.
Dragnet. You remember the TV show Dragnet?
Yes.
Just the facts, man. Just the
Yes.
facts.
Yes.
Joe, trust me, brother. The fact that you came on, it speaks volumes of our friendship, and I'm glad you
Yeah.
came on. I appreciate that. And this is just the one thing is we got to have open dialogue to converse with each other to find out the yin and the yang. You and I've been doing this every day, and you was like, "Yo, I'm gonna come on," and I appreciate you. Let me, Joe. I don't
Can
know
you
if
see me though? I don't know. I
I
can't.
can see you. Yeah,
Nah,
yeah. I
I
can
really
see. I
can't
see.
see you, Joe.
I can see.
You
Okay.
look like the Unabomber from here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Rich is a jokester, Joe. So
No,
listen,
I know.
listen.
Yeah,
Let me
it's
ask
all
you a
right, man.
question. I want you guys to read what Terrence just put up there. Can you see it, Joe?
No, I can't. Let me
He says Canada has tariffs on all exports, as per an agreement made by Trump in 2020. The
2000,
USMC.
actually, it was 2019.
Okay, 2019. The
Daddy,
US.
who are you talking to?
Hey, tell him we said hi.
Say hi.
Hey, darling, how are you?
That was the deal that Trump signed in 2019 with Canada. That today
Yes.
he's claiming that it was Biden and that he don't know who signed this stupid deal.
No,
And it was him.
yes, it was him. And I
But,
remember
but,
that.
but you
And
remember he said that whoever signed this deal was an idiot, right?
yes, I heard him say that. Yes.
All
But
right.
here's the thing. And then I also
Hey,
heard
Joe,
that
man, I gotta give you
Yo,
credit right there.
he
Rich,
was
let him
Hold
talk.
up, I
Rich, let
gotta
him
get
talk,
your
man.
point for telling the truth, boy.
he was what I heard is that he was, he was president, then Biden was president, then he became president again. And for some reason within the Biden administration, I guess this thing that he signed, some treaty, I guess they didn't keep all of it. That's what I heard.
Let me read. Hold on.
I don't know.
I want you guys
I don't
your comment. Hold on. I want to read the comments. Terrence also says, Terrence, for those that don't know, my brother Terrence, he's like the fact checker. I know he in the computer, he Googling stuff and checking it out for me. Terrence says the legal issue is whether the president's authority to conduct war is subject to judicial review, a decision that is normally reserved for the president and or Congress. He basically saying that where is an unconventional war with the Marcos regime in Venezuela. Stefania, I just want to, I'm trying to go back to people that are saying and talking and saying hi. Stefania says, welcome to the cop crew, Joe.
Hey.
Let me read some more comments. Rock said, he said, where's the due process? I'm going back. So these are comments and questions that were stated before I was letting you two guys talk. My brother Malcolm says, he says, I'll say it again. The same poor white Trump supporters will reject him starting when the white elderly who lose Medicaid and are removed from nursing homes when they can't get medication, etc. What do you think about that, Joe? I'll read it again if you need me to.
Medicare and Medicaid is going nowhere.
You said that to me. Tell me why you feel that way.
Because what other policy would be implemented with that? The only cuts that they are doing is the corruption and the waste. That's it.
So when you say corruption and waste, elaborate, please.
Well, I mean, I don't have the numbers or the facts on me.
No, I understand.
But my thing is,
just the facts.
okay. My thing is with that, what is that? The way they spend it or whatever else, it's waste. It's all wasteful spending. All of that stuff. The government has never. Look at the post office, Social Security. Oh, it's not going to be here when I get older or whatever else. Everything the government has governed has failed.
Okay, hold on. Let me
If
ask you
it was a regular company, it would be bankrupt.
Okay, hold on, Rich. Hold on. Joe, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I got
Next time I come, I'm going to be prepared.
Oh no, I know you are. I know, and listen, I know you just coming off the clock. I know you got a veg
Yeah.
out a little. So I know you still drink dark liquor. I forgot what you drank. You know what I'm saying?
I drink whiskey now.
Okay, well, listen, next time you come, have your little sip with you. So let me ask you a question. Since Trump has been in office, I'm gonna change the whole narrative for you because I think you can be able to flow with this a little bit.
Right.
What have you liked, or what do you agree with he's done? What has he done that you've liked since he's been in office?
All right. Immigration.
Okay, one.
Something that the other administration said they needed Congress for.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He didn't need Congress.
Right. Okay.
Another thing was well, it hasn't passed yet. The Social Security and the what is that? The overtime pay and look at it.
Overtime pay for who?
The overtime pay and stuff. No tax on that.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you a question with
Um,
Social Security.
No.
and you know what? I like the tariff. I think it has to be done. It can't be just done just done immediately. What
Mhm.
he should have done was start manufacturing more stuff in America, and then people would just buy American products, and then you do the tariffs.
Let me just read. Let me hold on, Richard. You can come in right after I read this. Terrence says, I agree with Joe. He is unlikely to cut benefits. The cuts will come by making the process of obtaining it more difficult and also
Yes, I
placing work
agree.
requirements on receiving benefits. Rich, go ahead, Rich. Come on in now.
Okay. You said
I,
that you agree with the tariff,
Yes.
but you think that he didn't do it right because he should have first,
Right. What I
which is
think
basically what
he's
I
doing,
said.
and he knows that the countries are going to give in. So that's what he's banking on.
mm-hmm,
All right. Let me ask you something. All right. The focus when it comes to illegals, so-called illegals coming to this country,
Yeah.
is focused mainly on people from South America, right?
Right. Right.
What about the Europeans that come to this country? Like Elon Musk, admittedly in interviews that said that him and his brother came here on the premise that they were going to be students, right? Columbia students, never enrolled in school, went and got a business started, got a business loan without even being citizens, coming from South Africa, apartheid, right? And lived here for several years without being properly documented, right? Now, like him, there are other Europeans that come here that are never talked about, never discussed, right? And there's no focus on them whatsoever. The other thing is this
There is
country,
now, though.
the United States, everybody that's here is an immigrant. Black
No,
people,
that I don't agree with.
well, let me give you the facts.
Right.
This country wasn't discovered. There were people here when Europeans got here,
Right.
right?
Right.
And they were native to this country. We
Right.
call them Native Americans. We used to call them Indians, and we called them
Right.
Indians because Christopher Columbus thought he was in India and he got
Right.
lost, right?
Right.
But anyway, when Europeans came here, there were people already here. You can't discover something that's already discovered, right? That's
Well,
like
you
me coming
can
to your house.
discover it for your
That's
own
like me coming
people.
to your
You
house and
can.
saying, "Hey, Bill, I discovered some property over here, but it's a guy that lives here, but he's irrelevant." You know. Matter of fact, I'm gonna sell you some the living room in his house, and then I give him a deed for the living room in your house. And he shows up at your house, and you're like, "What are you doing here?"
Well, now you're talking deeds and stuff like that. There's
No,
rules
no,
and
no.
regulations.
I'm talking
Back
about,
then, there were no
I,
rules and regulations.
bro. I'm talking
So I'm
colonialism.
coming to your house,
I'm
and
talking
I'm
colonialism.
gonna break down your door, and
I'm
I'm gonna
talking
take over
colonialism.
your house. It's called conquering.
Oh, that's what that was.
Yes,
So
taking
Europeans
over.
came here and just took land,
Yes,
and that's good.
it's been done however hundreds of years.
Well,
It's
but
been done in Europe. It's been
well,
done all over the planet. People
but this,
have conquered different countries and
but that's not,
areas of
but that's
land.
not actually what happened. What actually happened was when those Europeans came here on those boats, they were actually sick from scurvy and syphilis from having sex with sheep because they didn't believe women should be riding on boats. So they would have sex with
Wait,
sheep.
wait.
These are facts, right?
Yeah. I don't
So
know
when
where
they
you
got
get
off the
your
boat,
facts from, but
when they
it's
got off the
pretty
boat,
funny.
this is a thing called history that your president actually is trying to erase. He doesn't
No,
want
I don't think
he
so.
actually doesn't want Caucasian people to know the atrocities, so he's taking it out of the books in school because he doesn't want
I,
the children today to know
I,
the atrocities that were
I
committed.
don't think. I think you're talking propaganda now.
Oh, well, I guess slavery was
Yeah,
propaganda too, then, right?
I think you. Well, it's never going to be erased. Everybody knows about it.
No, no, no. But slavery was propaganda too.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
You're talking about erasing things. That's
So,
propaganda.
so, oh, he's not. He didn't just erase the website that had all people of color that served in the military. You didn't know he did that.
Oh, I know he did that.
You think that's
What's your feelings on that, Joe?
I don't. That I don't. I think it's pointless and senseless. I don't see anything like why would he do that? And I told you the only thing that I could come up with is he wants the DEI thing, everybody on a level playing field.
Let me ask you.
There
Let me
were
ask
there
you
were white women. There were white women that was taken off that and DEI. So it's not a racial thing. That's the way I see it.
okay. All right.
Because if it was just all, if
okay?
it was all
Well,
so
cool. How about
minorities,
if we take
then it
this?
would be a racial
Well,
thing.
then check this out. So why don't we take all the white men off of there too? Then
Well, they weren't taken off. All their medals and everything is still on there. The
the
only thing that
information
was
was
taken
taken off.
off, no,
The information was removed.
the only thing that was taken off is the first this, the first that, the first female, the first black female, the first black. uh, That's all that was taken off. Their medals are still on there. If you go on there, you can read the history of what they actually did.
Did you go on there?
Yes, I did. I read it. Yeah, because I wanted to
So
see.
you saying it's still there? That's a lie. That he never took it off.
What the medals and stuff and the
No,
information
what
still.
he's saying, is
Well,
they took off, I guess, their names, Joe, but they
Yeah,
still left
I
their
think he
medals
said
or
he
they
took
took off
off
their
the fact that
pictures.
they were African American.
right. That's what they took off. They took off if they were the first Hispanic or whatever, first gay or what that the
But,
label was taken off
but
and
Joe,
it
let
was
me tell
put in DEI.
but Joe, let me give you the significance of that, right? Because
I don't
during
agree with it, and I think
okay,
it's a stupid idea.
no, but
But
I'm
my
telling you
thing
the
is, what the
significance
only
of
way I
this.
could relate or understand it is he just wanted it was a soldier with this medal and this name, and that's it, pretty much.
But the significance of that, Joe, is that we were discriminated against while fighting wars
Right. I
in
understand
this
that.
country. We
Yeah.
fought, we fought in the Civil War. We fought in every war. We fought in the liberation of this country from Europe, from the British, whilst being slaves.
Well, you guys fought for the Confederacy also, so the
Yes,
same
we had,
thing, right?
but we didn't fight because we wanted to. We fought as slaves, Joe.
Well, you fought because if it failed, who knows what the people they know where what was going to happen with them, so they
Like
had to
what?
fight.
No, they fought because their slave owners convinced them that they would win, right? And they had been in slavery since birth. So they were not just enslaved in body, they were enslaved in mind also. Do you know that
Well, right.
did you know that they found people living in this country in the 1950s that did not know slavery had ended because they never left the town. And as a slave, you never wanted to go past where your master said to go past because you could be lynched or killed. And they were still lynching people and killing people in the 50s.
Yeah.
Right.
So people were found in towns that did not know slavery ended.
I,
And they were practicing this
Go
for
ahead,
a
Rich.
long time after slavery was over.
Yeah. Now let me interject for a second,
Yeah, I
Rich.
don't know any.
Let me ask you a question, Joe, and then Rich,
Yeah.
you can chime in when you get a chance. Joe, I think a lot of things have been made about race,
Right.
right?
I
Which
agree.
I think it has merit, but I think it's messed up. I think it caused division, right? Can I
100%.
can I talk about your household for 1 second, please, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I don't care.
No, but I have to ask because you might
No,
die.
no, go ahead. You can. It
Yeah,
doesn't. Yeah.
Joe has an African American wife, right? So him and I talk about things like this because the bottom line is, I tell Joe a lot of times this might affect his daughters. Financially, we could talk about generation wealth that I know you're going to take care of your kids. I got that. You know what I'm trying to
Oh
say?
yeah, 100%.
But the
It
thing is,
will.
when we talk about history, you know, I'm sure.
How old are you, Joe? How old are you, Joe?
Me, I'll be 54.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, Joe, how do we keep it politics and keep it, like Chris Cuomo and what's it, Tucker Carlson?
I
They had
watched that. Yeah.
yeah, I sent it to you, right?
Yeah.
Like the
Well, no,
bottom line.
I actually watched it. I watched it before
Okay,
you sent it to me.
okay,
Yeah.
cool. So my thing is, like Chris Cuomo said, yo, listen, there is no race. Like if you cut the skin, if you cut and get down to the vein, like it's all blood.
Right.
Some of us have that mentality.
See, Tucker Carlson messed up because what's his name?
Chris Cuomo.
Yes, Cuomo actually. No. Who? Oh my God, what's his name? The basketball guy that was
Stephen
talking
A.
about. Who was that?
Stephen A.
Yes, Stephen A. I love the guy. The guy speaks knowledge and truth. Okay, I think he's centrist all the way. That guy.
Okay.
Okay, he actually said that Tucker Carlson kind of didn't say, well, give a history first. He just totally denied the whole history of black people,
Yes.
and then just went up and just tried to, I guess, smooth him with some other stuff or whatever. I like Tucker Carlson. You
Okay.
know, I
All right.
watched the interviews with him, and pretty much about the
That, that,
politics.
Hold
that's
on,
the
Rich.
guy.
Hold on, Rich. I got to ask him this question.
Yeah,
Um, you say you like Tucker Carlson. You and
yeah,
I, we differ. We talked about this too.
right,
For everybody, like I said, Joe and I, we converse almost every day about something respectfully,
right.
and I say that respectfully
Yeah.
because I think our friendship is more important than this bullshit politics, right?
100%.
Okay.
This is
So
meaningless. I
exactly,
think.
because we all
I
feel
can't
like,
wait. Before you, in 4 years, I guarantee you, we'll be talking about something else, and none of this stuff that we'll be talking about, it will be irrelevant. Some
exactly.
people may not think so.
I'm gonna hold you to that, Joe.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you,
We'll
just
all have
like
to get
people
we'll all have to
with
get a drink at Row House on me.
yeah,
Just don't after four
just like
years say we need four more.
just just like Obama, like I voted from the first time. I didn't vote from the second time
Okay.
because I felt that he did nothing for me,
Mm-hmm.
nothing, zero. So
Okay.
I didn't vote for
So,
him. I voted for
and
McCain, but thank God, really, McCain didn't win. That's
okay.
what I want to say.
Oh, you felt that way too?
Yeah, well, after I seen him later on, I didn't.
Okay.
That guy, I felt he definitely wasn't genuine. None of it.
What
Well, no politician is genuine in it.
Right. Let me
what
read.
what did McCain do?
What was that?
He said,
What
"What
did
did
McCain
McCain
do?
do?"
That it was a couple of things
Give me
I
one.
can't. What was it? One decision that he before he passed away. I
Which
forget
one
what
was
it was.
that?
It was a couple of things. I forget what it was. I gotta write a
Yeah.
list because my
Yeah.
mind.
When you
I
come back,
can't remember.
Joe,
Listen,
what you do is the next time you come back,
ooh,
watch the show so that way you can.
yeah, I can't remember what I ate for lunch yesterday.
Hey, listen, Joe, come back in. Come back in next time with your gun loaded. All right.
Seriously.
Don't come in here.
so
Don't come in here with a knife for a gunfight.
so
Yeah.
listen. Here, Terrence wrote this. I don't know if you can see it, Joe. I don't know if you can see it, Rich. He said, here's the problem with the removal of DEI. To remove the current and historical presence of people of color and women, it presumes that racism and sexism no longer exist. That we live in a color,
Go ahead.
Oh no, we live in a colorblind utopia. That simply isn't true. The claim to want a meritocracy, but you can't have a I hope I'm saying this shit wrong. I'm messing it up. Meritocracy is prejudice and bigotry and are present. They know that, and their position preserves male white privilege. What's your thought on that?
My thing is, no matter what you do, racism pretty much, I think, will always exist. Well, it won't always exist because they said by the year 2050, a third of the world's population is going to be biracial anyhow. So, and I want to go all the way back because race was never an issue in humanity until the government made it an issue. Everything was class. You were a class. You were high class, low class, middle class, slave. But there was no race in any of that. Even if you look in history books, there was no race until the United States government made it an issue.
Not
And
true,
they
Joe.
what?
Not true.
Definitely.
No.
And United States
In
started
the
this.
year 1619, they created the word white people and black people, right? Because when people came to this country initially, they came as indentured servants, white and black.
Right.
And they were just equal, poor, white as black. And they lived together, congregated together, right? And they had a class, rich and poor, right?
Right.
And they had indentured servitude. And in this country, you can actually go and indentured service. For some people that don't know, you're not a slave totally where you don't get no
Right.
money.
You work
You
into it,
work off
out
of
of it.
debt. You
Right.
work off of debt, and these debts were generally from people's transportation here to this
Right.
country, right? So you would work off your debt, and like most rich people do, they try to cheat you out of the money they owe you.
Right.
But back then, you were able to go to court and fight, and in a lot of cases, and it's documented that a lot of slaves won their case. And what happens with the wealthy, they start buying off judges. So they started losing cases. Slaves started losing cases, indentured servants. And one particular case where there were two white guys, one black guy went to court for their slave, for their master debt that they were owed, and they were cheated. So they got pissed off
What
and they ran away.
what
And
year are you talking about approximately?
1619.
And what country was that?
This country, Joe.
1600s?
And in New York City, Joe.
Oh, okay.
Right? We went, they came in 1492 according to
Right.
Christopher
Well,
Columbus, right? So
well,
in the 1600s, there were slaves, indentured servants that came here to try
right.
to
The
colonize this country,
Quakers and all
right?
the
And
Dutch.
my
Yeah.
point is this, Joe. The rich realized that there were more poor people here than rich. The population was growing overwhelmingly of poor people, right? And they had to do something to even the playing field for the rich. So they started giving the Irish, the Italians, the Jews that were fair skinned, they said, we got to give them some hope. So we're going to classify them as white, and we're going to classify all other people of color as black. And during that case I was trying to point out to you, when they caught those three guys and brought them back to court, the court decided that they're going to give the two white guys 10 extra years of indentured servitude on top of what they had. So they just had to work an additional 10 more years. But they gave the black guy life with no pay.
Right.
And when they did that, a light bulb went off in their heads. They said, we can actually have people work for free, they started going back to Africa where there were tribal wars and people were selling the spoils of war. And in some cases, they were people. And they would sell them, they would barter them to Europeans.
Right.
So they would
Well, a
sell
lot
you.
of times too, the indentured servants they got sick working in the fields for malaria, and the African people did not die of malaria once they got here. That was another whole big issue with that.
Well, I don't know where you got that one from.
Yeah.
But anyway, but anyway,
And not only that,
they went
sometimes
to
the
Africa,
indentured servants would run away and pretty much um, go within the population, and you couldn't find them.
couldn't find who.
The white indentured servants. That's why they actually started shipping more um, slaves from Africa over here, because it
No,
obviously they stood out.
Joe,
Is it well, is that
Yeah,
really what
dude,
you think so, Joe? I mean,
Joe,
Joe. So
one
so let me ask
hundred
you.
answer
percent,
me.
dude. That's what.
I don't
Yeah,
No,
know.
no, hold on, Rich.
that's
Hold on,
one of the issues. Yeah.
Rich. Hold on. So what you're saying is that they shipped them here because they needed them like work. They didn't
No, he
ship them
said
because
because
they was
the white servants ran away and they couldn't
would
find
would,
them. So
would run away, and they would just
that's some black
pretty
people.
much end
So
up
they would,
in society.
yeah,
Terrence agrees with you. He said Joe is right about indentured servants escaping into the population.
Yes,
That's
100%.
because they were white.
Right. Yes.
Yes, yes. But this is
Yeah.
to my point. They classified them as white. So now it's kind of like people that want to fight the civil rights cause that are white, and
But my thing is,
if they
here's the
decide that they
difference.
don't want to fight it anymore, they can
Here's
just
the
go back to being
Yeah, but here
white
there's a
again.
difference though. The 1600s, okay, that was about slaves and making money. I'm talking about racism pretty much. Racism did not start pretty much until the federal government.
so okay. Let me ask you a
And
question.
because what it was is the federal government started that to for votes and to for votes and to keep the population fighting and separate. How
Okay,
could you govern if we got let's 2 million people and we're all on the same page? How can you govern that? You
Well,
can't.
but
okay. Hold
Joe,
on.
we weren't on the same page.
Right.
So what?
Exactly.
So when you
The,
say that,
the pages
Joe,
was
what? Hold on, Rich. When you say that, Joe, what year are you talking about specifically? If you or approximately, if I may.
Okay.
this got to be the Make America Great year again. Wait,
I'm
what
I'm
year was
I'm
that?
gonna say I'm gonna say the early, I guess right when slavery when they abolished slavery. What is that?
So
18.
They
okay.
abolished slavery. That was in
Right.
1863. The
18.
Emancipation
Yeah.
Proclamation
Right. Right
went into
around that.
effect.
Right around that time. That
Was
and
also
then oh,
see,
actually, even after that, I'm sorry.
when
When the
Lincoln got killed.
government said pretty much would say, oh, put propaganda in people's heads that they would take the white man's job and everything else, and that started pretty much the
Joe,
hate and
Hold on, Rich.
everything else.
Hold on, Rich. Yo, Joe, you know Harriet Tubman and Nate Turner turning over in their grave right
Why you say
Joe,
that?
Joe,
because
Joe,
I mean,
Joe. Let me ask you something.
Yeah,
I, I'm gonna paint this picture for you.
you know,
During
you
slavery,
got hold on,
hold
Rich.
on,
Terrence,
Bill,
you
Bill,
got my man Terrence. You got
Bill,
my man
Bill,
Terrence agreeing
Bill,
with you.
Bill, Bill. You gotta let me do this.
All right, go ahead.
During slavery, all the wealthy people that can afford slaves and property, right, bought slaves, and then when they were illegal to buy, I mean, to go over to Africa and get them, they breeded them, right? So the labor was free for them. They didn't pay anyone to work on their plantations. So if you were a poor white man that didn't have enough money to have property and buy your own slaves, where were you going to work? The only job that you can get as a white person, right, that didn't have enough wealth to have their own property, to have their own slaves, you could not get a job because labor was free.
Right. Now we're talking, what year is this?
Slavery.
Right. Okay.
So during slavery, poor white people were starving, they were suffering. And like today, people that are poor blame that on people of color. They blame the systems, like you said, that the system is being abused, and all of these different things are going on where there's money being wasted in the system. And every time they talk about that on the news, they show the pictures of people of color, Hispanics and black people. But the majority of the people in this country that are on public
Dude,
assistance,
that's the media. That's why. The
listen,
media is
bro,
a
bro,
propaganda.
the majority of the
Is
people on public assistance are white, but white people don't know that. They think that they're poor because black people and Spanish people are fucking up the system.
right.
So the blame is on people of color. When the truth is, we're all in the same boat. But
100%. Yeah.
the wealthy are spinning this story to have poor white people and poor black people fight against each other. Now,
Well, that's
all
that's
those
part
people
of the system.
that were Ku Klux Klan and these were poor white people that were going around lynching people and burning people's houses. I mean, they were ignorant, poor white people. They were taking out their frustrations on black people
Right.
and Spanish people and anybody that didn't look like them.
You know, everybody. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster. That's my co-host, Richard Williams, and I'm very happy to have my boy Joe M in the building. I won't say his last name since he goes by Joe M.
Yeah,
But
I
the
like
bottom,
Joe, man.
huh?
I like Joe.
Joe's a good guy. Terrence said racism as a construct began with the colonial government before American became a nation. We are out of time.
Yeah, the Knicks
Joe,
are on, man.
I know. Joe, we
Yeah.
always end the show with positive affirmation. Of course, thank you so much, bro. You don't know how much it meant for me to finally have you on and rock out
I'd
with
like to
you.
come on a lot, but I work. I
I know you
actually
still.
would be coming home from work now.
Yeah, I know. So let me just put it out to the universe. Whenever you want to come on, I know you watch us, but whenever you're free to come on, come on. You give a different perspective, you give an
Yeah.
insight, and you can see like them other clowns. We don't argue. We converse and we debate. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Respectfully. We always end the show with positive affirmation. Whatever positive affirmation you want to give, you can give. And then whenever you and I'll be talking tomorrow, I thank you again. I'll thank you via text, but I just want to let you know I'm glad that you came on. You and I have hung out. You told
Oh,
somebody when we
wow.
go back, like
Since
2004.
2004.
We've been rocking,
21 years.
like
Yeah.
I said. So I've seen you told me about
The
the
red
things.
alert days.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you told me about things that have happened to you, reverse racism, discrimination, and stuff
Well,
like
yeah, I
that.
could get into that too.
Yeah, one day we'll do. I'll bring you on because I want
Yeah.
people to understand from your eyes to from your mouth to their ears. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
We like, because the bottom line is trying to solve problems starts right here, conversing
Right.
with each other. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
I agree. And
So
I believe that it's not an impossible thing to do.
no,
It's
no,
just
no.
that people have to converse and have a dialogue,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Putin and Trump.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hi. Yeah, that was a cute one. So,
Yeah.
Sister Brenda said this was a good show. Thank you for coming on, Joe M. So, Joe, give us some positive affirmation. I'll turn it to Rich, and then I'll close it, and we out of here, fellas.
Well, like I said, it's not an impossible thing to do. Just have a lot of dialogue, and that's it. You can disagree with somebody without the hate filled, you don't have to hate, like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, everybody. you know how to share this. Go to my page, Joe, and look under the video on Facebook. Share it to your page. I would love some of your friends to see that you can converse with people of color, and not argue. And you know what I'm saying? Because you know,
well, people that know me, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you talk about Joe is colored.
Huh?
Well, Joe says he's Ukrainian, right, Joe? You said you have.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Yeah, he has some Ukrainian in him.
Yeah.
So we'll get in that to the next time he comes back.
Yeah, get into that.
Talk about that, man.
Yeah,
Yes.
We'll get into that the next time he comes back.
How you like your boy? How you treated your man?
Rich, it's that time. Exactly. When Joe comes back, whenever he comes back, we're gonna chop it up. Rich, give us some positive affirmation, bro. My guy.
Man, listen, I appreciate this platform for us to come on and express our views and our opinions on things and try to talk things out and come up with some solutions and some understanding.
Yeah.
Right.
I think
I appreciate Joe for coming on and putting up with my bullshit.
That's all right. I was actually going to come on with a mask or something. So.
Nah, we don't do that, Joe.
Yo, Joe, we already had that bad experience with a guy.
Especially white guys coming on with a mask, man.
Yeah.
No, I would have took it off, but I just wanted to do it as a joke.
Yeah, absolutely. See, I would have got it. So, Joe, I want to give you all your flowers. Stefania says thank you. Sister Brenda says thank you. Mark says thank you. A lot of people appreciate you. Kevin, we miss you. Kevin is with his children, though. We know he's doing that.
I know mine's screaming now.
Yeah. You gotta go.
Kev might come back on now.
Yo, listen, if Joe come on regular, Kev might lose his spot. Nah, Kev can never lose his spot. Kev can never lose his spot. That's my guy, 2-8 for life. So listen, everybody, listen, we all got to work together. We got to find a better way. We got to find a solution. You know, maybe think about this, and maybe we could talk about this next week. Has politics divided our nation? Everybody, I'm Bill Foster. Go ahead.
Facts over feelings.
Yeah, facts over feelings.
Just the facts, man. Just the facts.
Yes.
That's it. M12, baby. Exactly. Yeah, Dragnet. Everybody, I'm Bill Foster. That's Joe M. That's Richard Williams. This is Real Talk Chronicles. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much for supporting. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to it, please. If you're not on YouTube and you watch it from Facebook, just go to YouTube, look at Real Talk Chronicles, and just push the subscribe button. So, to build the numbers up. Thank you. We get over 500 views on Facebook all the time. So I appreciate it.
Take care.
Joe. All right.
Take
Rich,
care.
I'll talk to you later, Bob. My man, I see you this weekend. My guy.
All right.